As you get older, life takes on a different rhythm. You've worked hard, raised a family perhaps, and now you may be entering a stage where solitude isn't loneliness, but rather a path to peace, clarity, and personal growth. If you're watching this, you might be wondering if living alone is the right move for you. I want to tell you that it's not just okay to want that. It can be empowering. Living alone as an older man is something many of us embrace. We step into this lifestyle to enjoy independence, self-reflection, and even a bit of self-discovery. While some people may think living alone means isolation, I'm here to show you how it can be exactly the opposite. Before we dive in, if you find value in these videos, please subscribe and click the bell to stay updated. Let's begin. 1. You thrive on personal freedom. Remember when you had to consider everyone else's opinion on how to run your day-to-day life? Living alone means you make decisions, big or small, based solely on your preferences. It's a chance to live life on your own terms, without compromise. I once met a guy named Frank who, after retiring, bought a small RV and started taking off for weekend trips without having to coordinate with anyone. He told me, "Jim, I feel like I've finally gotten back the ability to do things on my own terms." His eyes lit up as he talked about his adventures. He'd discovered new places, met interesting people, all because he could just pick up and go whenever he felt like it. Frank's story isn't unique. Many older guys find that living alone opens up a world of possibilities they hadn't considered before. Maybe you've always wanted to try your hand at painting, but never had the space or time. Or perhaps you've dreamed of learning a new language, but couldn't find the quiet time to study. When you live alone, these dreams can become reality. This freedom isn't just about day-to-day decisions. It's about having the space to rediscover yourself, to explore new interests, and to grow in ways you might never have expected. When you're not constantly adjusting to accommodate others, you have the chance to really tune in to what you want and need. If you're craving this kind of spontaneity and independence, living alone gives you the chance to live life with more personal freedom than ever before. Want to eat ice cream for dinner? Go right ahead. Feel like rearranging the furniture at 2 a.m.? Nobody's going to stop you. It's about creating a life that's tailored exactly to your preferences and rhythms. 2. You cherish peace and quiet. Remember when noise was music to your ears? The kids laughing, the TV blaring, phones ringing off the hook? Yeah, those were the days. But now, I bet you're starting to crave a little peace and quiet. If the thought of a silent house sounds like heaven, listen up. Living alone means you're the conductor of your own symphony of silence. No more shouting over the TV to have a conversation. No more tiptoeing around while others are sleeping. Just you and your thoughts, existing in perfect harmony. I remember the first week after I moved into my own place. The silence was almost deafening at first. But then, something magical happened. I started noticing things I'd never paid attention to before. The way sunlight danced on my kitchen floor in the early morning. The soothing rhythm of raindrops on my roof. The satisfying crackle of a new book's spine as I opened it. This newfound appreciation for quiet doesn't mean you have to become a hermit. I still enjoy a good chat with my neighbors and weekly dinners with my family. But having my own space? It's like having a volume knob for life. I can turn it up when I want company and dial it down when I need some peace and quiet. The beauty of silence is that it lets you hear yourself think. It gives you space to reflect, to process your thoughts and feelings. In our busy world, this kind of quiet time is pretty rare and precious. Living alone allows you to create an environment where you can tap into this valuable resource whenever you need it. 3. You have clear, independent interests. Ever dreamed of turning your spare room into an art studio? Or spending an entire weekend lost in a jigsaw puzzle? When you live alone, your home becomes your canvas. I worried about becoming lonely or bored when I first started living solo. But you know what happened instead? I rediscovered my love for woodworking. I set up a small workshop in my garage and started crafting again. The hours flew by as I shaped wood into beautiful, useful objects. I made birdhouses for my neighbors, toys for my grandkids, and even restored some antique furniture. This isn't just about hobbies. It's about having the freedom to shape your days around what truly brings you joy. Maybe you want to volunteer more at the local animal shelter, or perhaps you'd like to take classes at the community college. When you live alone, your time is truly your own. The beauty of living alone is that you can dive deep into your interest without worrying about bothering others. Want to leave your painting supplies spread out on the dining table for days? Go ahead. Feel like practicing your guitar at midnight? There's no one to complain about the noise. Your home becomes a reflection of your passions and interests, a space wholly dedicated to what makes you happy. 4. Your routine is your religion. Wake up at dawn, coffee on the porch, afternoon nap. Sound familiar? When your day's rhythm becomes sacred, living alone lets you dance to your own beat. No compromises, no interruptions. Just your perfect day, every day. I used to worry about becoming set in my ways. But you know what? Without the need to accommodate others, I found the freedom to experiment. I tried new things, like taking up watercolor painting in the afternoons or going for evening walks to watch the sunset. My routines evolved to perfectly suit my needs and desires. And let me tell you, there's a special kind of contentment that comes from knowing each day will unfold exactly as you want it to. Moreover, having control over your routine can have big health benefits. You can schedule your meals at times that work best for your digestion, plan your exercise when you have the most energy, and ensure you're getting enough rest without disruptions. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports your well-being in every way. 5. You're tired of being everyone's handyman. Dad, can you fix this? Honey, the sink's leaking again. Sound familiar? If you're exhausted from being everyone's go-to problem solver, it might be time for a change. Don't get me wrong, there's pride in being the family handyman. But there comes a point when being everyone's Swiss Army knife starts to wear you down. Our energy isn't what it used to be, and tasks that once seemed simple can become pretty tough. Living alone doesn't mean you stop being there for your loved ones. It means you get to set boundaries. You decide when you're available to help and when you need to focus on taking care of yourself. I remember the first few months after I moved. The calls still came in, of course, but now I had the space to pause and consider whether I truly had the energy to take on these requests. Sometimes I still said yes. Other times, I gently suggested they call a repairman. And you know what? The world didn't end. My family didn't love me any less. My friend Tom had a similar experience. For years, he was the go-to guy for everything from car troubles to computer glitches. When he decided to live alone, he was worried his family would resent him for not being as available. Instead, it encouraged his children to become more self-reliant. His son even took a basic car maintenance course, inspired by all the times he'd watched his dad work on their vehicles. Setting boundaries doesn't mean cutting yourself off from your loved ones. It's about creating a healthier dynamic where you can offer help when you're able, without feeling obligated or overwhelmed. It's also about teaching others to respect your time and energy. Moreover, stepping back from being the constant problem solver opens up time and energy for you to focus on your own needs and interests. Maybe you've been putting off that doctor's appointment or neglecting your own home repairs. Living alone gives you the space to prioritize these things without feeling guilty. 6. You want to downsize and simplify your life. Standing in a big house surrounded by decades of accumulated stuff can feel overwhelming. If the idea of simplifying your life appeals to you, living alone might be the answer. When I downsized from my suburban house to a cozy one-bedroom apartment, I found joy in simplifying my life. I sold off most of my belongings, kept only what mattered, and found it freeing to no longer be burdened by the upkeep of a larger home. Downsizing not only eases physical and financial burdens, but also opens the door for a less complicated, more enjoyable life. It's about focusing on what truly matters and letting go of the rest. Simplifying your life isn't just about getting rid of physical stuff. It's about streamlining your commitments, your expenses, and your daily tasks. When you live alone in a smaller space, there's less to clean, less to maintain, and often lower bills to pay. This frees up not just your time and energy, but also your money to invest in experiences that truly matter to you. Moreover, a simpler life often leads to a clearer mind. Without the constant visual and mental clutter of excess possessions and responsibilities, many people find they can think more clearly, feel more relaxed, and enjoy life more fully. 7. You appreciate solitude for creativity and self-expression. I once read about a man who, after his divorce, moved into a cabin and started writing poetry, something he hadn't done since his college days. Without anyone else in his space, he felt more connected to his thoughts and emotions. If you felt creatively stagnant or just haven't had the space to pursue self-expression, living alone could be your chance to reignite those passions. My friend David, a retired teacher, found his creative spark when he started living alone. He'd always loved photography, but never had the time to really pursue it. Now he's turned his spare room into a dark room where he spends hours developing his photos. He says the solitude allows him to lose himself in the process, experimenting with techniques and truly expressing his vision without interruption. Solitude provides the mental space needed for ideas to percolate and take shape. Without the constant input and opinions of others, you're free to explore your own thoughts and feelings more deeply. This can lead to profound self-discovery and personal growth. 8. You want full control over your health and wellness routine. As we get older, health and wellness become pretty darn important. Living alone allows you to tailor your lifestyle specifically to your health needs and preferences. Whether it's maintaining a strict diet, dedicating time for daily exercise, or simply keeping a clutter-free environment for mental well-being, living solo gives you the control to create a wellness routine that works best for you. Living alone also allows you to create an environment that supports your mental health. You can control the level of stimulation in your space, whether that means keeping things quiet and calm, or filling your home with music and activity. You can rest when you need to without feeling like you're letting others down. You can eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired, and move when you feel restless, all without having to coordinate with anyone else's schedule or preferences. 9. You're ready for a new adventure. Life's too short to stay stuck in a situation that no longer serves you. If you've been feeling a pull towards independence, if you're craving a fresh start, living alone might be the adventure you're looking for. I remember feeling nervous about making such a big change at my age. But you know what? It turned out to be one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. It gave me a chance to rediscover myself, to explore new interests, and to create a life that truly reflects who I am at this stage. This new adventure can be a chance to reinvent yourself. Maybe you've always wanted to live in a bustling city, or perhaps you dream of a quiet life in the countryside. Living alone gives you the freedom to choose where and how you want to live without having to compromise. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Won't I get lonely? It's a fair question, but let me tell you something. Living alone often leads to a richer social life, not a more isolated one. When you live alone, you have the energy and the motivation to seek out social connections actively. You're not relying on the built-in companionship of family or housemates, so you make more effort to connect with friends, join clubs, or participate in community activities. Choosing to live alone as an older man isn't about shutting yourself off from the world or giving up on life. It's about opening yourself up to new possibilities, about creating a life that truly reflects who you are and what you want at this stage of your journey. It's a time to focus on your happiness, enjoy your space, and follow your own path. If you've been feeling pulled in this direction, trust that instinct. Living alone could be the most uplifting, rewarding decision you make at this stage in your life. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please comment 9 below. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss our next video.